You wake each morning as if stepping onto a quiet field no one else can see. On the surface, the world looks calm. The lights are on. The coffee is warm. The schedule is predictable. But beneath all of this, the routines, the obligations, the practiced smile, there is a plane that stretches through you like an ancient, windswept battlefield. You walk across it every day without speaking of it, feeling the tremors under your ribs, sensing the pressure before your eyes even open. This war is not loud. It has no banners or clear enemies, but it shapes your every move, every hesitation, every unspoken fear. You have carried it for so long that you've forgotten what life feels like without the weight of invisible armor pressing against your chest. There is a strange calmness to this inner conflict, the kind that makes a man appear composed, even while storms break against the walls of his mind. Musashi knew this tension well. To him, conflict never began when blades left their sheaths. It began long before the moment a man recognized the fracture within himself. The pull between instinct and intention, the echoes of old wounds that still dictated his reactions. And so, while the outer world grew softer, more padded and comfortable, while society trained men to avoid friction and silence their turmoil, the ancient awareness remained. You feel it whether you acknowledge it or not. The body stiffens. The breath shortens. Something inside you waits, as if listening for footsteps approaching through the fog. The greatest chaos you face is not the world outside. It is the division inside you, the part that wants rest, clashing with the part that wants meaning. The part that seeks comfort, grappling with the part that wants fire. This is the war no one can see, yet it determines everything. And until you acknowledge its presence, you will move through your days like a man fighting shadows, never understanding why you feel tired, even after doing nothing, why you feel at war, even in moments of peace. There is a battle inside you, and it has been shaping your life far longer than you care to admit. If you listen closely to your own silence, you will notice the presence of two warriors living inside your chest. One moves with fear, nervous, hesitant, always preparing for the worst, always retreating before the fight begins. The other carries intention, a quiet steadiness, a sense of direction, a willingness to move, even when the outcome is unclear. These two forces clash in every moment you feel torn, every moment you hesitate, every moment your body knows what to do, but your mind pulls the reins. You've felt it in the pause before speaking, in the avoidance of difficult tasks, in the soft surrender to distraction when your soul is calling for discipline. These are not minor struggles. They are the internal battles that define the shape of a man. Modern life has only intensified this conflict, because comfort has grown louder, more accessible, more seductive than ever before. Discipline whispers, comfort shouts. Conviction requires energy. Distraction offers immediate relief. And so these two warriors wrestle inside your chest, one longing to rise, the other content to kneel. Musashi understood this duality deeply. His discipline was not built on talent or destiny. It was forged by choosing which inner warrior to feed. Each act of commitment sharpened the warrior of intention. Each moment of avoidance strengthened the warrior of fear. What hurts most, what stings like a blade pressed against the heart, is realizing how many days you have spent siding with the weaker part of yourself. Not because you are weak, but because weakness is familiar, because hesitation feels safer than courage, because fear wraps itself around you like a cloak, pretending to protect you from the world while actually shielding you from your own potential. You sense the man you could be, rising from somewhere deep within, yet you also feel the weight of the man you currently are, clinging to you like wet armor. This is the conflict inside your chest, the two wolves, the two warriors, fighting endlessly for control, and every decision, no matter how small, tips the balance. There is a certain armor you carry, not made of steel, not forged by hand, but shaped slowly over years of fear, doubt, and memory. At one time, this armor protected you. It shielded you from disappointment, from embarrassment, from pain. It helped you survive moments you were not ready to face. But armor built for survival eventually becomes a cage. Its weight grows. Its plates stiffen. Its dents remind you of everything you once escaped, but now refuse to confront. It limits your movement, narrows your vision, tightens your breath until you mistake restriction for stability. You wear this armor not against the world, but against yourself. Every old habit that once kept you safe now keeps you stagnant. Every identity you clung to, the careful one, the responsible one, the quiet one, the one who waits, has grown too small for you. Yet you hold it close, because the unknown is terrifying. Modern comfort reinforces the illusion that this armor is necessary. It tells you to avoid anything that threatens your image, your routine, your temporary peace. But Musashi warned that a warrior must remove what is unnecessary before entering battle. For excess weight makes the blade slow and the spirit dull. Letting go is not easy. There is grief in shedding what has defined you, even if those definitions have become outdated. Part of you wants to cling to the familiar simply because it is known, but deep down, you sense the truth. You cannot step into the man you could become while dragging the corpse of who you used to be. The armor that once saved you is now sabotaging you, and until you loosen its straps, you will continue mistaking heaviness for protection and stagnation for safety. You cannot win the inner war while fighting in chains. Attention is the blade you carry within you. When sharpened, it cuts through confusion, revealing the path with a single stroke. When dulled, it becomes a heavy piece of metal, useless, burdensome, easily swayed by the winds of noise. Modern life dulls this blade relentlessly. You are pulled in 1,000 directions before you even rise from bed. Screens speak. Notifications demand. The world claws at your senses with a hunger that drains your strength without ever touching your body. And so, your attention, the very edge of your spirit, grows blunt, scattered, hesitant. Musashi's life was defined by his obsession with clarity. Every breath, every movement, every word was rooted in awareness. He trained not merely to strike, but to see, to observe the world, to notice the unseen, to sense the invisible shifts within himself. A warrior cannot allow his blade to be dulled by chaos, whether external or internal. To Musashi, the real battle was for control over one's focus, not the world's approval. He believed that a man who cannot hold his attention cannot hold his life. The inner battle you face each day is not about productivity, success, or perfection. It is about reclaiming the sharpness of your attention from the noise that steals it. When your energy is scattered, your strength dissolves. When your focus is seized by every passing distraction, you become a spectator in your own existence. But when you direct your attention fully, deliberately, something shifts. Confusion fades. Doubt weakens. The path ahead sharpens like a freshly honed blade, catching the morning sun. There is relief in this clarity, a quiet power that settles into your bones. You begin to feel yourself again, the fractured man pulled in every direction, but the aligned one who moves with intention. You reclaim the weapon that determines the outcome of every internal battle, the blade of your attention. Fear does not shout, it whispers. It disguises itself as logic, as caution, as humility. It pretends to protect you while quietly directing your every move. Fear is a cunning general, one who never steps onto the battlefield himself, but sends you into retreat with strategic whispers. You know these orders well. Not yet. Be careful. You're not ready. What if it goes wrong? What will they think? These are not warnings. These are commands designed to keep you small. Many men confuse fear with danger, yet they are rarely the same. Danger is real, immediate, physical, undeniable. Fear is a shadow projected onto the walls of your mind. In the modern world, most fear has nothing to do with survival and everything to do with discomfort. But we have blurred the line so completely that a difficult conversation feels like a physical threat. A new ambition feels like stepping onto a battlefield, and any step beyond routine feels like risking your entire identity. You avoid not because you are in danger, but because fear has convinced you that safety is sacred. Musashi saw fear for what it was, an illusion that grows in silence, a specter formed by the gaps in your courage. He understood that hesitation is fear's most powerful weapon. It stops you before any real threat appears. It wins the battle before you swing the blade. And yet, fear only commands you because you allow it. It has no authority of its own. The moment you see it clearly stripped of disguise, exposed under the light of awareness, you feel a shift inside. Its voice weakens. Its grip loosens. There comes a moment in every man's life when he realizes that fear has never had true power over him. He has simply been following orders he never questioned. And once this realization settles into your bones, fear loses its rank. It becomes what it always was, a shadow, not a master. There is a special kind of pain that forms when a man imagines a perfect strike, but never delivers it. You know the one, the idea that sparked fire in your chest, the plan that made you feel alive, the action you swore you would take when the time was right. Yet you waited, you prepared, you hesitated, and somewhere between thought and action, the moment dissolved. The strike remained in your mind, untouched, unexpressed, slowly turning into regret. This is how dreams die, not through failure, but through inaction. The world is filled with men who never stepped forward, not because they lacked strength, but because they let time drain their courage. Musashi believed that timing was everything. A warrior must move when the moment calls, for hesitation is the distance between victory and loss. Yet modern life glorifies postponement. Later becomes a mantra. Someday becomes a quiet graveyard. You convince yourself that waiting is wisdom, that perfection must precede movement. But in truth, you are spectating your own life, watching opportunities pass like silent ghosts. The pain of inaction grows heavier each year. It settles into the spine. It tightens the breath. It lingers in the silent hours of the night when you realize how many battles you surrendered, simply by refusing to step onto the field. You tell yourself you are being patient. You tell yourself you are preparing, but patience without action becomes procrastination, dressed in noble clothing. There is a moment sharp, precise, undeniable when you must strike, not because the world is ready, but because you are. The internal battle between patience and procrastination is not about time. It is about courage. When you finally choose movement over hesitation, the world shifts. The air changes. Your spirit stirs. And you realize that the only thing more painful than striking too soon is never striking at all. The greatest victories of your life will happen in silence, far from any applause, far from any recognition. They happen in the small, internal moments when you choose discipline over comfort, clarity over distraction, courage over fear. No one sees these battles. No one praises you for them. They leave no trophies, no titles, no external signs of triumph. Yet these victories shape you more deeply than anything the world can offer. They strengthen the spine. They settle the breath. They forge a quiet confidence that no circumstance can take away. In a world obsessed with validation, men have forgotten the power of unobserved integrity. They perform for the crowd, not for their soul. They chase attention rather than alignment. But Musashi understood the truth. The only battle that matters is the one fought within. External achievements can be taken. Status fades. Praise is fickle. But the mastery of yourself, your mind, your habits, your fears, your impulses is a victory that cannot be stolen. It is earned in darkness and carried in silence. There is a solemn pride that comes from walking in this way. You do not need to announce your progress. You do not need to prove yourself to anyone. You feel the shift inside, the quiet reinforcement of your character, the steady rise of your inner strength. You become the kind of man who does not need to speak loudly because his presence speaks for him. The world may never understand the depth of your inner battles, but you will feel the peace they create. This is the calm a man earns when he conquers himself, not the soft comfort of avoidance, but the firm stillness carved from discipline. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You move through the world with a sovereignty that comes from knowing your battles are fought not for show, but for truth. The victory you win without witnesses is the only one that lasts, and once you claim it, no force in the world can undo it.